Hi, meet Danny. He's 25 years old and has a good job that pays well. He lives in a nice apartment in a good part of town. He's slim, healthy, and goes to the gym 3 times a week.
This is Rose. Rose is Danny's counselor. Danny has come to counseling because he wants to improve his social relationships. He has had 3 relationships over the past year that have failed, and now he thinks that he is too weak to have a relationship. Danny recognizes his pattern, but he doesn't know what to do about it. Today, they are having their first counseling session. Let's see how that goes.
How can I help you today, Danny?
I was by myself last weekend and I felt really sad and I started to cry. And yeah, I don't know what is wrong with me. I mean, a guy like me shouldn't be crying, you know. I have everything. I have a good house, a high salary, I have good health, but I'm not happy, you know.
What was going through in your mind at that time?
Well, I was thinking about my failed relationships. I've had 3 breakups in 1 year and one of my exes is getting married. So whenever I think about couples, whenever I see couples, you know, I feel really sad and troubled. Yeah, and I feel like a loser, you know. It's like I'm too weak for a relationship.
What makes you say you're weak?
You know, it's always the same thing. I meet a girl, we are having a good time, things are fine, we do all sorts of things together, and suddenly when the relationship is very serious, I tend to get really overwhelmed, you know, and I don't know what to do when I'm overwhelmed. I just always want to run away from the relationship.
I see. Can you just elaborate more on that feeling of being overwhelmed?
Well, at the beginning of the relationship, things are fine, you know, like for two months or something, they are fine, the girl is pretty happy, I treat her like a queen and everything, and yeah, I mean, suddenly there are things that I want from her or things that I disagree with, you know. When I'm actually opening my mouth to actually express myself, words don't just come out.
I see. I can see that you're struggling with this and it looks like you're finding it very difficult.
Yes, actually, I don't like this situation. I hate being in this situation, actually.
Alright. So, from a scale of 0 to 100, 0 being not confident at all and 100 being very confident and speaking up in a relationship, where do you see yourself?
Well, I'd say it would be 30.
Alright, 30.
Yeah.
But what is stopping you from speaking up?
If I tell her that, you know, the things that I want, I might come out to be very needy or very selfish, and I don't like people thinking that I'm very needy or selfish.
Is there any evidence that you can share with me of when you do ask something from someone and they saw you as needy?
Yeah, my dad actually, whenever I asked anything from him, he would say, you know, that you're not the only child that I have, or you're very selfish or needy, and you know, to think about your brothers and sisters. I'm actually the eldest son in the family, so my father was very strict with me.
Alright, okay, I can understand that. Is there any evidence against that, against of what you believe, and when you do ask someone something and they've actually been very open to you?
Yeah, quite a few instances actually. Like my colleague, he kind of helped me with the project and he was happy to do that. My sister was willingly, you know, ready to help me with the pet. And my neighbor, once my car broke down, and my neighbor was very happy that I approached him because he loves to fix things. And so yeah, people have actually kind of helped me with that.
Alright. So if we were to weigh the evidence for and against of being needy and not needy, is it 50-50 or 30-70?
I think it's 30-70. Yeah, there are more evidences against what I believe.
So, now that you've examined the evidence that you've shared with me, how hopeful do you feel in your next relationship?
I think it will take a lot of time to get into another relationship. The thing is, I don't even like socializing anymore. I go out with my friends on Friday nights for parties and all, and we check out girls, we meet different girls, but I tend to avoid them now because what's the point, you know? Every girl I meet is gonna end up in the, I mean, I'm gonna end up in the same relationship as my past experiences, you know? So it's just, I actually feel that no girl would ever care for me. Like my mother never cared for me. Yeah.
Can you just tell me a little bit more on that?
Well, my mother was always busy like my father was, so back when I was in high school, I used to get bruised, you know. I used to come back home all bruised up, and my mother never used to notice or care.
Oh, what happened to you at that time, Danny?
I was a fat child, and I guess fat made me feel ugly. So the older guys used to pick on me and they used to beat me up. And yeah, it happened quite a few times. It made me feel really weak and worthless, you know. It was like I never existed.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Danny. The fact that you had to go through growing up when your parents were not there for you, and also you were being bullied in school.
Yeah, it was a hard time.
Right, so that's in the past. Aside from all your relationship problems, how do you feel about yourself now?
I guess I don't feel bad about myself. After all, I have everything that most people want in life, and I have a lot of close friends, you know. I don't hang out with them much, but I do have close friends.
Alright. So what does your friends think about you?
But my friends think that I'm a pretty decent guy. That's why they keep calling me to go out with them, you know, even when I'm avoiding them. Yeah.
Alright, Danny. For me to understand a bit more of how you're coping your relationship issues, I'd just like to carry out an assessment with you. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. No, okay.
So this is an assessment. I'd just like you to fill up.
Here are the assessments that we use for Danny. The first one is the Depression, Anxiety and Stress Scale, or DAS. It is a 21-item scale, and the reason why we use this is to assess the severity of Danny's emotional distress and ascertain if a referral is needed. The subscales for DAS are depression, stress, and anxiety. The second assessment that we use is the Rosenberg Self-Esteem Scale. It has 10 items and it is used to measure Danny's self-esteem level before, during, and after treatment for the purpose of monitoring. Lastly, we use the Romantic Partner Conflict Scale. It has 39 items and we used it to identify Danny's dominant style of handling conflict in relationships. And this can be used as an input for his intervention plan. The subscales are compromise, avoidance, interactional reactivity, separation, domination, and submission.
Question 1. I also asked Danny some questions regarding his psychiatric history, medical history, and other relevant details in order to get a full picture of his background. Then, I assessed the effects of his problems on his daily function, such as work, sleep, and appetite. Next, in order for me to further understand how Danny is handling his problems, I asked him about the ways in which he has tried to solve or manage the issues and how he deals with his emotions. In addition, we spent some time discussing about his strengths. This is crucial as the strengths can be leveraged upon a client by handling his issues. Finally, we set some general goals for the treatment and I shared with Danny some of my thoughts about his problems.
Now let's take a look at how Danny's negative thoughts and core beliefs have developed. Since Danny is the eldest child, his father was always strict with him. Whenever Danny would ask for something, his father would say, "You are so selfish and needy, you only think about what you want." By hearing this over and over again from his father, Danny starts to think that it is not appropriate to speak up for what you want. Over time, Danny develops the belief people who ask for things are needy. Westbrook, Kennerly, and Kirk labeled the negative automatic thoughts into a list of cognitive biases. We can identify Danny's thought here as jumping to conclusion or name-calling. During the counseling sessions, Danny also discloses that he was bullied at school and that his parents were always too busy working and did not have any time for Danny. Danny starts to think that he is not important and his confidence drops. Later on in life, Danny decided to go to the gym to work out and get in a better shape. This helps building up his confidence again, but it is still fragile. Underneath lies the belief, I am weak and worthless and no one cares about me. In the list of cognitive biases, we can identify Danny's thoughts as emotional reasoning or overgeneralization. Westbrook and his colleagues emphasize the importance of identifying the maintenance patterns and show how these can be visualized as feedback loops. For Danny, we can identify the following vicious cycles. Reduction of activity. The negative thoughts, I am weak and worthless and no one cares about me, lead to a reduced activity. In Danny's case, this is social withdrawal. Because of this, he misses out on positive rewards, which would be feelings of social acceptance. And this again gives him a depressed mood. The depressed mood leads then to negative thoughts. Another cycle is the self-fulfilling prophecy. The negative belief of people think I am needy if I ask for what I want or need leads to Danny not speaking up for himself. This is a changed behavior towards others. This behavior then elicits behaviors from others. In Danny's case, it means that his partner will not give or know what he wants. This again leads to a confirmation of Danny's predictions. The confirmation of his predictions lead to the negative beliefs.
We are going to discuss about Danny's case conceptualization. Let's take a look at the vulnerability factors. Since Danny is the eldest, his father was strict with him. Whenever he asked for something, his father would say, "You are so selfish and needy. You only think about what you want." And Danny was always picked on when he was in school. He was bullied for his physical appearance as he was overweight. And Danny's parents were always working, and whenever he approaches them, they would say, "I am busy." From this, he developed some dysfunctional beliefs. Those are which I am weak and worthless. No one cares about me. And people who ask for things are needy. With those beliefs, what triggered his problems are, he had a series of relationships and 3 relationships ended within a year. Loneliness, and his ex-girlfriend is getting married. From there, he developed problems.
Let's take a look at Danny's problems. Thoughts. If I tell people what I want, I'm being selfish and needy. Or I don't have the confidence to advocate for what I want in a relationship. Or I think I must be too weak to ever have a good relationship. And what are his emotions? He's frustrated, sad, hopeless, and miserable. And his behavior, he jumps from one relationship to another and avoids all social relationships. Let's look at what makes the problem persist. Number 1, he does not make an effort to socialize with others and rejects all social invitations. Number 2, he thinks that if he goes into another relationship, it'll fail just like the previous ones. And number 3, he gives up easily when there's a problem in his relationships. Let us now take a look at Danny's treatment goals. To break the dysfunctional behavior pattern of social avoidance, Danny will see at least one friend once a week for a minimum of an hour. To recognize and challenge negative thoughts, for that Danny will keep a thought record. To build assertiveness skills and perseverance, Danny will attend and complete a suitable course.
Hi Danny, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good, great to see you again. Alright, let's start the session today by setting an agenda. Let's list down all the things that we have to do, and this way we can have time to cover the things that are important to you. Yeah, are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright, great. The first thing I'd like to do with you is to check on how you've been doing for the past 1 week. Then I would like to talk about what happens in the first section. If there's anything that you want to highlight to me, you can do so as well. After we revise the issue that you shared with me in the first session. Yeah? Alright. We'll look at all of this in terms of the CBT theory. This is what I use in my therapy. I will share with you what I think contributes to your problems and how you're feeling as well. Okay? And also why does the situation keeps happening the way it's happening in your life.
Okay, sounds good. Is that it?
Yeah, we'll also take some time to set some goals. What do you want to achieve from the sessions? How do you want things to be different? Lastly, we can talk about what you can do outside from the session that will meet your goals also. Okay? Anything else you want to cover today?
I don't know, maybe something to work on my confidence.
Alright.
So I can speak up if I want something.
Yes, we'll definitely cover that as well. Okay? So, how have you been throughout this whole week?
I feel the same. I feel sad.
Is there anything that happened since the last session we had that you'd like to share with me?
Yeah, my sister showed me this dating app called Tinder. She went on and on about how I can meet different women there, and I just brushed her off and I said I'm not interested.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning about it's going to take a very long time for you to be good for the next relationship.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of time.
You also told me that you cried when you thought about your past relationship that has failed in the past 1 year.
Yeah, I can't believe I cried, but yeah.
In CBT, we use the ABC model to help clients see how their thinking and beliefs affect their feelings and behaviors. A is the activating event. B is the beliefs. C is consequences, which can be a feeling or a behavior. In your case, A is the breakups. And C is how you feel about it. Perhaps you can help me identify what is C. What feelings did you have?
Sad. I felt really sad.
Okay, and what thoughts did you have about A?
I told myself that I'm too weak to ever have a relationship.
That is actually B. B is the belief that you have about the breakups, and it has caused you to feel sad. It is B that determines how you feel and behave, not A. Unhealthy beliefs can lead to unpleasant feelings and dysfunctional behaviors.
Ah, I see.
This ABC model is something that you can refer throughout your treatment. It can help you to identify your unhealthy thoughts and your beliefs when you come about a particular event or situation. Yeah. Before we move on, perhaps maybe you can tell me what you understand from the model.
The ABC model says that how my thinking can affect how I feel or how I behave.
Yeah.
If I don't want to feel upset, I should change my beliefs.
Yes. Great. I think you've got it. All right. So now I want to share with you what I have gathered since our first session. All right. I spent some time thinking about your childhood, life events, beliefs, and behaviors that are connected to your problems now. I want to tell you a little bit of some of what I know, and you can tell me if it sounds right.
Alright, okay, sure.
Alright, so first of all, it seems that the way your parents and schoolmates have treated you has caused you to have certain beliefs such as you're worthless, no one cares about you, yeah? And also you assume that people who ask for things are needy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. You then carry out these beliefs with you, and they affect how you react to things. Yeah? For example, when you experience your breakup and also seeing that your ex-girlfriend is actually getting married, you automatically believe that you have this thought that you're weak and you're not worthy to have another relationship. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I think you're right.
And as a result of those negative thoughts, you feel upset and you avoid your social activities. The thing is, the problem keeps on repeating because you keep engaging in unhealthy behaviors and like giving up easily when there's issues in your relationship.
Yeah. So is it like a vicious cycle?
Yeah, exactly. So now that you're aware of why your problems keep coming up, what do you want the change to be, and how do you think therapy can help you?
Well, I want to start going out with my friends again. I don't want to keep avoiding them. So Yeah, that would be great if you can help me with that.
Okay, good. So I'll put it that as your first goal of therapy. I'm also thinking that maybe perhaps we can work on your unhealthy thoughts that you have. This would help for you to recognize and also to challenge them when they pop.
Yeah, I think that would be useful.
Alright. Alright, so, and you said earlier you want to have more confidence to speak up. Yeah? How about if you work on building your assertiveness skills as part of your goals?
Yes, I want to be assertive and tell people how I actually feel, especially when it comes to relationships. Yeah, I don't want to give up so easily when there are hiccups, because if I keep doing that, if I keep running away, I will never get married.
Yeah. Alright, so assertiveness skills and perseverance then?
Yes.
Alright. Alright. Now, before we end, let's talk about the actions that you can take out of the session. Yeah? Think about the things that you can do so that you can achieve the goals that we have set.
I guess I would like to go out with my friends again.
Great. So how often and how long?
Once a week at least, Friday nights maybe for an hour or so.
That sounds great, Daddy. Alright, and what about your negative thoughts? What do you think you can do to avoid them?
I don't know.
Okay, maybe this can help. It's called a thought record. Whenever something happens and we feel upset or angry or anything like that, you can actually jot down the triggered events and what went through your mind at that time. After that, you can take some time to think about what proves and disproves your thoughts. And then the last two columns, you can put in healthier thoughts and how can it change your feelings.
Action.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, I understand. But maybe you can start small. How often do you think you can do this?
Yeah, I think I can start with twice a week.
Great. Do bring it to the next session so we can review it together.
Okay, sure.
And for the last goal, what do you think can help you build your assertiveness skills and perseverance?
I don't know, joining a course maybe?
That's actually a very good idea. Maybe you can go home and create a list of all the assertiveness training programs, and I'll give you a few websites for you to choose from as well.
Okay, I can do that.
Alright, great. And maybe you can bring it in our next session and we'll go through it together and choose the best option for you.
Alright, sure.
Alright.
Let's look at the treatment plan for Danny. What is his problem? The client feels sad and frustrated and wants to improve his social relationships. His primary problem is he has dysfunctional beliefs about self-worth that leads to a low self-esteem and social avoidance. His secondary problems are client feels too weak to speak up for what he wants or needs. His romantic relationships don't work out and it affects all his social relationships. Let's look at the therapy goals. To break the dysfunctional behavior pattern of social avoidance, Danny will see a friend at least once a week for a minimum of an hour. To recognize and challenge negative thoughts, Danny will learn to keep a thought record that he will fill out twice a week for about 10 minutes. To improve his assertiveness skills and perseverance, Danny will search and subscribe and complete an assertiveness skills training within the next 4 weeks. The strategy that we used in session 1 was the CBT micro skills. We also used 3 scales to assess Danny's condition. In session 2, we used the ABC model and case conceptualization model to educate the client. We also worked with the client to set SMART goals and realistic action steps. We used the thought records to jot down the triggering events of what went on through his mind during the week. As a follow-up from the second session, we went through the client's homework of identifying negative automatic thoughts. We also used the CBT techniques to appraise automatic thoughts and images and to develop new perspectives. And we also set up an action plan for implementing the steps needed to achieve counseling goals. Plans for following sessions are: number 1, schedule new meeting in 4 weeks to assess client on results of counseling and assertiveness training. Number 2, if there's a need, schedule family therapy session with client and parents.